What is going on, everybody? What's up, Alex?
Nothing. Just chilling, enjoying my time back here on the No Name podcast.
You know, I really enjoy that you have a studio. Well,
thank you.
Your sisters, they have a studio that you
Weberized.
I just like it. It's nice to have somebody that has a quality studio on the other end. Means a lot to me.
I'm very, very blessed to have the option to come here instead of being in my basement where it's loud and annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we are back for a JConcepts INS 15. We yearly, I guess, end of year recap. I think Jason was supposed to join us. I think he didn't get that memo, but we will go over it. We want to say a big thank you to JConcepts for making this happen, as well as Amy and Hobbies, Hobbywing, Schumacher, Exalt, Team Associated, Reedy, and Elite RC Productions. Good afternoon, everybody. We got Taylor DeLosa. I was just recently on his podcast, Slowest Fast podcast. Some guys up there in the Pacific. I wouldn't say Pacific, but up there in the Atlantean Northeast.
I watched a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I didn't get all the way through it yet.
It's a long one. Anything with me, it's going to be pretty long. Yeah. I had a lot of fun there talking to those guys. You, happy birthday to you, dude.
Thanks.
We're the same age now. 47.
Oh, yeah? That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What month are you?
July.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm December. December
you
3rd.
Are. So you're younger than me.
Crappy birthday where all my birthday and Christmas presents are combined. Like, oh, hey, this is your birthday and your Christmas present.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, my whole life. And my sister was born in August. Like, what the heck?
She got both.
She gets double. She gets birthday and Christmas. There's no excuse not to get her not to combine them. For me, it was like, well, here's your Sega Genesis, and sorry we didn't get any games, but this is your birthday and your Christmas present.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I'm not bitter at all.
We got Ty Taylor, our producer in the background. Hopefully he'll be pulling up some stuff today for us to have a look at. Tell us, Alex, how did you celebrate your birthday?
I worked.
Yeah.
And I did get off early, so I went home and I watched Back to the Future 2 with my wife, and I found out I've known this woman for 25 years, and I found out she's never seen Back to the Future 2 ever.
Really?
I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? And so she did the same thing to me when we were dating with Star Wars.
Mm.
And so I have Star Wars on VHS, right? The original ones, the good ones.
Okay.
And I tried to make her watch Star Wars all the way through. It took years before she actually made it all the way through without falling asleep. And
really?
Right about the part where they went back to 1955, I look over and she's sound asleep. So she still didn't make it all the way through.
She's missing out on quality entertainment.
Dude, I'm telling you.
That's me. Star Wars?
Yeah.
How would anybody fall asleep?
Oh, she's tired of it now. Like, between me and my son, she's over Star Wars. She don't want anything to do with it.
Star Wars is awesome.
She's seen enough of it.
I love it. I love it.
Me too.
All right. You've been busy too because you have the Techno series coming up.
Yeah, Techno series round 2. Round 2 is tomorrow and Saturday.
Busy time for you.
206 entries the last time I checked. So we capped it at 175, but I do take heat fillers. Mm-hmm. And round 1 was the same weekend as AMS. I couldn't really get around that because there was we don't race Black Friday weekend. I told Chuck at Fastlane that I wouldn't schedule a Techno series on that JConcepts race to have down there, the invite. Saturday, November 1st was Halloween weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really schedule it there. So I kind of had no choice. I guessed because I tried not to put round 3 over the Southern Indoor Champs. And I guessed, and it worked out right. So we're not on top of that. So I knew round 2 was going to be big because there's nothing really on top of it.
Well, you're on top of Fallbro.
Yeah,
but that isn't
way far away.
Yeah, and it's also a big East Coast race.
Yeah, I think actually Mason's going to that one. So that is one that will probably could have came to ours, but went to that instead. So I get it.
I'm sure he would have been at the Plex.
Yeah, I get it though.
If he wasn't there, it's a big race over there on the East Coast.
Yeah, Emerson and I are talking. That's my son, and we're talking about trying to do more 8 scale next year. We actually did make it to an 8 scale race this summer, and we both had fun and did pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. You should do more. John Lee says the third Back to the Future is my favorite.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, Rory Holler, thank you, sir. Which Back to the Future is your favorite? Thank you for the $10 super chat. Let us know. We appreciate it. Good evening to you, sir. He is from Wisconsin, and that's where we'll be going. Well, I will be. Are you going to go to the first race in Wisconsin?
Yeah, well, I'm planning on doing all the dirt races again. So trackside,
Okay.
R race, and then Hoosier.
Awesome. I am looking forward to going back to trackside.
Me too.
And
I'm actually going there 2 weeks. Well, I hope the date's set in stone, but we're going the weekend of January 24th for one of their club race point series races too.
Okay.
So I'll get some reconnaissance laps.
How long of a drive is it for you from?
About 7.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not for Midwest. That's not terrible. The only thing that would suck is the weather. If it's going to be bad weather, I won't go. But if it's clear, it'll be fine.
Yeah, we went last year, February. It was no snow.
Nope.
I mean, there was very little snow.
Yeah, it was just
and
cold.
no ice. It was cool. I actually enjoyed it.
It was actually pretty temperate. I remember it being a little warmer than I expected it to be.
It wasn't that bad. I had one jacket on and long pants, and I was fine. I would go outside and get sun. It was good. I look forward to it. I can't wait. I guess we should get into our topic of the week of this show. So you and I were doing some live shows prior to the finals that happened. Our last guest was Eddie Henley, and we saw each other at that race because we went to the INS finals. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I thought the track was awesome. I think that you and him built the two best tracks of this series. And I got to race on it. So it was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
So I got to do the enduro race, which was a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Brand new slashes, dude. I
like how he uses that to sort of help break the track in too.
And break in new slashes to use as rental.
Right. Yeah.
So all of the slashes finished besides 2. And this was a 2-hour enduro race.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason they didn't make it is they basically had failed servos.
Oh.
That's pretty impressive. Brand new slashes out of the box. We slammed them down to the ground, took all the the shock spacers out, slammed them down as far as you could. And we bounced those slashes off every wall, pipe, nail, you name it on that track.
Yeah.
What does it actually do when we're doing that? Is it just bedding in the glue to an extent?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really all you're doing, is just kind of like clearing a path for the groove, pretty much.
Got you. It was quite fun. I didn't realize I had signed up for 2 hours of nonstop stuff though.
So enduros are fun. So we've done 11-hour enduros. I called it the 11th hour enduro. And after the last one, it was like 9 hours. So I was like, man, yeah. Well, let's see.
Driving for 11 hours.
So we started doing 11-hour enduros, and so we'd get there. We'd open the doors at 7. We'd start racing at 8, and we'd get done at 7. It was a struggle, to be honest with you. It was too long. So then we started doing 1,000 lap enduro, and even that was tough because I think the last one was 8 hours. And I was like, man, I don't know if we're going to do that again or not.
Well, in this enduro race, you just did 10-minute stints at each position.
Yeah. Okay.
10-minute racing, 10-minute turn marshaling, 10-minute as a pit man. Dude, I was so thirsty. I was like, Lance, I need some water. Yeah, it was fun. A lot of fun. Our slash, we lost a hinge pin.
No.
So I had to run inside, get a hinge pin, and then put it in. And we lost a 10-minute session doing that.
So on the Hobbyplex Hobbyplex Show YouTube channel, a video from probably 3 or 4 years ago that I did is can it survive 1,000 laps? And I basically built a backslash, and I raced that in the 1,000 lap enduro, and the aluminum front hinge pins like started to wear so much that it like bent and did this, so that because we had this big sweeper, and so it was like that side specifically like wore out the hinge pin. We did so many laps with that thing. And then I think I broke think I broke a shock tower. I mean, I put on a metal shock tower, which might have been kind of stupid. And I think it broke like because it was a 2-piece deal and it sheared off the screw. And I was like, oh man, all that work. And now it's going to take a half hour. We're going to be a half hour behind. It's crazy when you have races that long because you can see like how far behind, you are. You're like, holy crap, we're 47 minutes behind. How are we going to make this up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
Hope they break.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping for. Attrition.
Yeah, exactly.
Attrition. Team 11 MRC. I'm hoping to visit trackside for the first time for the next INS race. Got some testing in with the prototype 2-wheel drive buggy. Ooh.
Oh.
What prototype 2-wheel drive buggy is that? And Dino DeMarco YJ6TK. Hi, gents. Love the INS series. Watch them all from Melbourne, Australia. Well, thank you, sir.
I am super jealous of Australia right now for all the cool tracks that they have.
They have all
outdoor tracks, like outdoor tracks. It's really cool.
What's up, Bob's RC up there in Canada? Yeah, most of the tracks there in Australia are outdoor.
Oh, they're beautiful too.
Because the last time we chatted, the Worlds were about to start.
Yep.
And that started a week long of lives for me and Pekka.
Yep. Man, you talk about being tired. Dude, I tried to bomb your show with comments. I think a couple of them you were just like, what's this guy doing? Who is this guy?
It took over my life. Like watching the Worlds. I went to sleep watching the Worlds, woke up watching the Worlds, and then talked about the Worlds.
I was
and
so
showed
tired
up for a few hours, and it was time to start watching it again.
I was so tired. So I would stay up, and then I'd have to go to work. And then you know how we have the TVs up there, right? So I was like, oh, we got YouTube. I just put it on there, watch the replay. It's fun.
I actually it probably come out next week, but I interviewed Brock Champlin yesterday.
Oh, cool.
And it was a good chat with him. And we had a good chat with him on our live show.
I
was pleasantly surprised by his candidness.
Yeah.
And how he was like, I have no expectations. And then he goes down there and won 2-wheel drive.
And he showed up late.
I know. Well, he showed up late with missing stuff.
Yeah. Like no luggage. Yeah. It's crazy. He looked disheveled. Like,
that's a great word for him.
He looked rough, dude. And the fact that he was able to do that was so impressive. I was so happy.
Team 11. I've got my own design 2-wheel drive 3D printed parts with some donor parts. Has been working well locally. We met a guy at Alex at Masters at Hobby Action that had his own 3D printed car. Alex Craig, I think his name was.
Yep. Did you see that? Have you seen that Will Speed car?
I have. With
that one's cool,
outside.
Dude.
It looked very cool.
Dude, I wouldn't mind buying that one.
It looks good.
Use my wife's
car. Oh, do you have to run carpet?
Do you?
I'm pretty sure that's a carpet car.
I mean,
it's up to you.
Yeah.
It's up to you. What's up, Clay Keats? How are you? So we got a few people in here. Rory Holler's using some of our trophies. He's a YouTube member, so he gets special emojis.
Oh.
If you like yes. So if you become a YouTube member of the NNRC, you get special emojis that you can use. So the people in the YouTube chat are seeing this right now.
Oh man.
Yeah. We should put a poll up. We need a poll.
I hate myself.
What would be a good poll for this weekend?
This weekend or for the INS?
No, for this evening. What would be a good poll?
Will Brock Champlin continue to dominate INS in 2026?
Well, how about just 10 scale? Because that's pretty much what he's doing.
Yeah.
Dominating 10 scale. Very confident, very dominant, and just out there kicking ass and talking and taking names. I noticed I knew he was on it at I think at your track. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is gonna be very hard to beat. Very hard to beat.
Yep.
So well done to Brock Champlin. And he goes on to carpet championships and dominates on there. Him and Orlowski so it's definitely been the second half year of the Schumacher.
For sure.
So we were all excited about X-Ray at the beginning of the year. And then that kind of faded away, I would say, at the E-Buggy Worlds. And it has not been the same since the E-Buggy Worlds for X-Ray. And the Worlds was no different for them in 2-wheel drive.
I was thinking about this because I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about exactly, but there really is no downtime either.
No, there isn't.
Like, there's not like a end of a season, because you feel like this time of year should be the end of the season, but it's really not. Like the next big race is only a couple weeks away. The Clash.
Yeah, it's on New Year's. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. And then right after that is Silver State.
And then we have Beast of the East, where I'll be going. Beast of the East, SIC, then INS.
Then INS. Just bam, bam, bam. There really is no like time to, I don't know, unless you're not racing some of those, but take a couple weeks and reevaluate setups or mindsets. It just keeps going.
They have very little break. The guys who are doing Cleveland this weekend, 2 weeks before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I know Brock didn't go, but the whole X-Ray team, and they need to win.
Yeah.
They need to win, I would say.
I think if you're struggling as a team, trying to just grind through it ain't such a bad idea.
I mean, it would boost confidence, even though I would say that if you got like Brock Champlin there, I don't know if Rivkin's going to be there or all the associated guys either. But if you ain't got all that talent there, it's just not the same. But yeah. I have not looked at the entry list for Cleveland, to be honest. So maybe somebody will let us know in the chat. Bob's RC says, my MP11 kit shows up Sunday. Do you have any of those in your hobby shop? None?
We are very picky about the expensive 8-Scope kits that we keep on hand, because Techno being a title sponsor, and Techno's very dominant as far as a brand of sales goes around at the Plex, and for good reason. They've backed that series now, I think, more than 10 years. So we always have one of those, and then occasionally I'll get an Mugen kit just because I run it. So somebody wants to run what I'm running. There's a little contingent of Mugen fanboys at my place, like with me. And then everything else I just kind of special order for people. I have actually special ordered a Kyosho card, the last one.
Nice. People seem to be excited about the MP11.
Yeah, good. No doubt.
So
I know one of our racers, he's not local, but I know he was there for round one. He had one.
Okay. And also I would say I would agree with you on Techno. It's not just up there, it's everywhere in America. I think they have a very good presence, and when they kind of get in, they dig in and they do really well.
Yep.
At these areas. All right. Well, let's get in. I think we should. We've been going for 20 minutes now. Let's get into what was. I know, but we're kind of catching up because we haven't talked.
Yeah. So no, I know.
It's cool. Just catching up. We went to the final race, which was the INS at Hoosiers at Hobbyplex there in New Albany, Indiana. You and your son went. We did. Unfortunately, this race was kind of the Vintage Worlds was scheduled on top of it.
Yeah.
I don't think was done on purpose, but I think they had no choice but to do it.
Yeah, the way it was explained to me was they really didn't have a choice on the date. They either had to have it there and on that date, or not have it at all.
So it kind of sucked because a lot of people that went to that would have been at this race, and I get it. It looked like a great race. I'm surprised I haven't got more hate mail from my view of vintage racing right now. On my last podcast, I talked about it, but I thought it was a great event.
Let me guess. Not to interrupt you, but it's not necessarily vintage racing if you put modern shocks on it and all these modern parts on it.
I talked about that. I'll be honest with you. I am not the biggest 10 scale vintage fanatic.
Okay.
Right. So it doesn't ring. It's fun. I think it's cool to see that, and it's good to see the fast guys from yesteryear racing and stuff like that. But
that was pretty cool, and I was extremely jealous I wasn't there.
Very cool, and I was getting quick glimpses at it while I was there calling the race, right? But what we were doing at Hoosier is the future, right? And that's kind of how I feel about it. And I'm glad for the vintage guys. I think it's cool. I would love to go to that race and maybe probably participate in it, but also do some coverage with it. I think they did a great job of it, and it looked great. It looked great.
Yeah, I'm making an effort to go to one vintage race next year, and it'll probably be at the Adrenaline RC one that they have in September.
Okay.
I would love to go to the one that Eddie's going to have, but it's on the same weekend as our big race that we've had since 2014, and I already made the date and made the flyer and all that stuff, so I can't really get out of it.
Got you.
So, kind of bums me out.
Hey, Richard Smith says it would be a lot cooler if they run Bosch motors. I kind of get why they're running the bigger shocks because they couldn't get pistons for it, but there's an argument there. But
yeah,
I don't really care. It doesn't make a difference to me. It doesn't. But we were at this race, and I will have to say that my first track, it was good. Like it was hard not to follow the INS race, but also have an eye on what was going on in Vegas.
Yeah,
because it was really cool what they were doing.
Yeah,
like the way they had a track and a turf, a replica track.
Masami was there with some cool controller.
Oh look, Ruona's here. He showed up.
Hey. Oh my gosh.
Is he ready? Let's see if he's ready. Is he ready? We should put him in the middle.
Hey, I have that shirt. Got it on my last team order.
Perfect.
We wasn't sure if he was gonna make it.
It was yeah, I was driving home. I didn't quite get home by 8, but I'm like, you know what? I can join in here and talk some racing for a while.
All right. Well, thank you for joining in. We have wished Alex a happy birthday, and we were kind of on a vintage spiel about how the race was, unfortunately on the same weekend as the INS finals. You actually got to go to the vintage race too. So maybe touch on that really quick before we move on.
Yeah, I was able to do both, which was nice. And, I think I left on Saturday. I got there for the banquet at the vintage race. And then Sunday they had the main event. So I definitely got my fair share into both. Obviously the INS was going good. I'm sure Alex kind of recap that. And, we were all watching kind of both races at the same time. Inside the hobby shop, there was a TV going in there. They had the race from Vegas going on. You could look through the doors and watch the race going on at the INS. So it was actually a big racing weekend, between the two events happening. And, it's a completely different thing. It's a completely different vibe. It's two separate things going on. They are both RC cars, but at the same time, there are two separate vibes. You have the more serious crowd at the INS. Throughout all the different classes, everyone's serious about their racing, and and at the vintage race, it's serious, but you get the impression people are still happy to be there and just doing it. So that's the advantage of vintage right now, is it has a little bit of an easier vibe to the whole thing. So I think in general, that's what the racers are liking about it overall. But once it got serious, the racing is still serious. Spencer wanted to win, Mayfield wanted to win, Cavallari wanted to win, Matt Francis, Masami, Mark Pavidis, they all wanted to win. It was no different. I think Mayfield was a little caught off guard. He didn't expect guys to be as serious as they were about the vintage racing. I know he was pretty in awe of Matt Francis, how dedicated and into it he was, and just asking all kinds of questions and trying to do everything.
Jason, I just want you to know that I'm a huge Matt Francis stalker. So I really, really, really wanted to be there just to see if he would remember me. Because one of the cool things about Matt, I always thought of him as the prototype pro driver, in my opinion, because he would remember people that he hadn't seen in years. It was crazy to me how I would walk up to him after a year or two of not any sort of anything. This was way before social media, and he'd call me Fro Boy. Yeah. And I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Matt remembered my name. And then I'd run off into my corner again and hide.
Well, I think it's no mistake that Matt's in real estate. He got into the sales side of things.
Yep.
And I think what it was is he was good with people, and he understood why he was there. In addition to winning, he was serious about the winning, of course, like he was just at the vintage race. But he understood the game. He understood that it was important to remember people. He understood that it was important to make connections with new people and hobby stores, and he understood that important part of the job, because he took it on himself, and along with Losi and Trinity, and they put him out there doing many events. Before that was kind of the thing to do, and when we started doing our own events, we used to Paul and I used to call them the Matt Francis Tour, because our races started off smaller, and like stuff that we used to do when we started, and so that that's how we did it. And we kind of modeled some of it after Matt going to a lot of different events and kind of showing what he could do out there, but also relating to the customer and either the dealer or anyone that was there.
Yep.
Sweet.
One of these days I'll get to go. One of these days it'll work out.
I just remember him in the magazines. And then he did a Ripped podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that's how I remember him. But it's good to show that competitiveness is still there, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, Mayfield was blown away that he was taking it so seriously, and I know Richard Saxton was blown away that Masami was taking it so seriously, and everyone just forgets that that people want to be winners.
Yeah,
and it
doesn't champion competitors.
It doesn't change for anybody. I mean, it doesn't change if I'm racing or Alex is racing or Keenan's trying to beat up on Danny. Everybody wants to win. And now if you've had success before, it makes that even more of a burden, because now you have an expectation that you're trying to show. Like when I did the vintage race earlier in the year, I just wanted to represent myself also as a racer. People don't really know that much anymore that I used to race. And so I tried to represent myself as a racer and do the race as a racer, but because you have an expectation for yourself, so you try to live up to at least looking like you belong out there, and that's kind of the idea. And these guys being gone for so long, they never got to experience the social media side of RC. So
right.
Matt, and he left in 2005, so he never got the live RCs and all these the sites that we had, the red RCs, the Neo buggies, and he really didn't participate in a lot of that type of thing.
Yeah, he had to wait a month.
Yeah,
or
so
three, whatever car action was behind.
So when he got there, I think to the race we did at Hoosier, he was kind of blown away by that. How much marketing there is now for the racing and the racer, and it's also, I'm sure, pretty fun when the race is a little bit kind of about you in a sense. A guy like Matt, he came to the race that we did earlier in the year, and he was kind of the star of that show. People wanted to see him race and drive, and they're bringing him things to autograph the whole time, and it was kind of his comeback race, and that worked out well for him. And the one that associated race, that was kind of the Masami show. That guy probably signed several thousand autographs. Kind of felt bad for him,
dude,
a few times, because people wouldn't leave him alone. And it was, he did everything he needed to do. Photos, signing kits left and right, but he did everything he needed to do. But then you could see that he had to go race too, and people wanted him to look a certain way, race a certain way, put on your driving suit that he used to wear, and it's like he was a character, like a wrestling character, and people wanted to see him in character, and they wanted the autograph and the photos, and there was a lot of expectations, I think, on Masami there, and I think he kind of delivered on showing everybody what he could do, and looking a lot like Masami doing it.
It was hard not to be starstruck by him when I was at the Worlds in China in 2016. Like he was the IFMAR director or something like that, and it was so hard. Like I introduced myself, I got my selfie, and then I tried to leave him alone. Because I was like, all right, that's Masami. I'm gonna let him do his job.
Well, and I think that's what he experienced the whole time there. Also at the race, everybody wanted to, and it wasn't just one selfie. It's like a selfie. A day.
Yeah,
it's like a selfie a day for everybody. Plus all the autographs, and I know Theo brought a bunch of kits there. He was getting a lot of stuff signed for Pacific Coast, and bringing in wagons of kits. I mean, Larry lined up his stealth cars and had Masami sign them all, and he was working. And then they did the autograph session with Cliff and Jay and Masami. The line went down, the side of the the arena there we were in, and Roger came out, Roger Curtis, who many people don't know these days, but he invented the RC10. So Roger was there, and I talked to him a little bit. Cliff introduced him because one of Roger's hires, Roger and Gene, was Cliff. So that was Cliff's mentor, which was Roger Curtis, and then Cliff was kind of as my mentor. So we kind of had a lot of different generations there.
Interesting. I didn't think about all of that. So Masami was an autograph signing fool.
It was the most amount of RC autographs I've ever seen. It never stopped. He was doing, and he has an elaborate autograph. So it's not like he can do it in like 2 seconds. Like, he's got characters and letters and dates, and he tries to put the brands he's representing, and it's a big deal for him to do it, because it's not like just I'm out of here. He's got it's a whole thing.
Interesting. I'm glad they had autograph sessions. Like, were there lines for that and all that type of stuff?
Oh, it was long.
It was.
Pictures I saw, it was a long line.
Yeah, when Cliff got there and Jay, they set them up. They had cards to for them to sign, and then of course they all had kits, which made great sense. There's a Cliff led RC10T, there's the Jay Halsey car, there's the Masami car, so they all had kits to sign, cards to sign. There was a lot of kind of swag being given away. We had a poster we gave away there. People were using that for autographs. So I mean, it was just an endless good time. Like I said, it was completely two different things, but it's easy to have that magic when it doesn't happen that often. People get accustomed and used to any of today's racers coming in and racing at these races because they see them pretty often. And if you did a vintage race like that every 6 months or 4 months, people would just be like, it's Masami. I seen him last week, but it's a big deal when it's been years and years. And I think Masami said something like the last time he raced was maybe 2010. I think a competitive race. The job he has, he still drives RC cars, and you can see his videos. But I think in terms of just kind of running a somewhat serious event, that would that was a pretty big deal for him and his dad. I mean, honestly, when I was a kid, when I went to Yatabe Arena in 1995, I thought Masami's dad was kind of old then. He's 78.
I met him too. I got a selfie in my phone. I got a selfie of Masami and Masami's dad.
So Masami's dad was probably my age when the Worlds was in Japan in 95, and now he's almost 80. But there was no break for him either. He was wrenching the whole time, trying to making those cars better, and had all of his original toolboxes and tools and the same stuff he had 40 years ago, 30 years ago, he was using. It was impressive. It was cool, and so we'll see if they can pull that off again. Get the same superstars to come in and join. I think that's the key.
Interesting. So it seems like it was more than just a race. It was like a festival almost at the same time.
Yeah, it was much more than a race. I think the racing was just kind of the icing on the cake.
Sounds good. I would like to do something like that in modern RC, but I think we're too used to having those guys around us, like you said.
Yeah, the magic's not there because you see these guys all the time, and people are so busy being competitive or trying to beat them, or worrying about their next deal or their competition, or it's just a completely different focus. You're dealing with a community in vintage where the majority of the racers are kind of past what are they getting out of it, right? When you go to the big races today, people are trying to figure out what's in it for them. What am I going to get out of this? And back then, the drivers at the vintage race, they're past all that for the most part. They've moved on to a different thing in life, and now they're doing it because they truly do like it, and that's what makes the vibe a little different.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I get it. So more fun, less serious, but serious at the same time.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That sounds like RC. Less serious, more fun, but serious at the same time. All right. So I wanted to get back. We kind of wanted to wrap. We haven't even really got into wrapping up the last race of the finals, which was at Hoosier. I think we just got talking about the enduro race, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the layout at this last race. I think that Eddie. I enjoyed both layouts. I enjoyed both layouts at both Hoosiers. I enjoyed Alex's layout and at Hobbyplex. Sorry, I do apologize. Hoosier Hobbyplex and Hobbytown Hobbyplex. Both dirt tracks, one sealed, one not sealed. But I think both the same size tracks almost.
Pretty close. They're a lane deeper.
Yeah, and yours has obviously got the higher driver stand, so that back lane looks very small, and they didn't. Theirs isn't as humid as yours, I would say.
Yeah, he's got air conditioning too, which is nice.
But I thought it was a great layout. I really enjoyed that very back section where you kind of went up. Ty's got a video here. So
Mount Hoosier.
This is at Hoosier, the last race. I don't know. This is Mod 2-wheel drive A1.
That part right there. That's right now.
That was a very tricky part of that track. And then that last little jump that came before that 180, very tricky. And then this section was also very nice. It was
this corner right there. That oh boy.
Hey, you have to be on that red and white paint going around that corner.
If you were too far on the outside when it was early in the morning, your car would just flip over.
I thought it made for fun racing. We saw, I think the best passing was in stock when Nate, we saw him do two great passes. One on, I don't know which Raymond twin it was, but he jumped over him twice. And then one on Prevacek. I got some flack about that. They said that those were all lucky passes. I said, no, they look pretty calculated and pretty good to me. And that goes for more of Nate the Great's passes from this year. He made a lot of really great passes. But yeah, I really enjoyed this layout. And my first time going to a Hoosier race with how they treated and with the glue. And I have to say that I thoroughly enjoyed myself at this race.
There has not been a layout at Hoosier that I've not liked. There really hasn't. I mean, I don't get to go to a Clash. It's just bad time of year for like me personally to travel, but I love going to the INS there, and he's knocked it out of the park every time, in my opinion.
What Eddie told me, we were in Australia, and he texted me. He was putting the layout in for the race, and he said, I'm going to try to put something in that's a little tamer and not quite as aggressive as our last couple tracks, because I'm sure the guys are a little on edge after the Worlds, and he was trying to make it a little easier, simple, but sometimes it can make it complicated when you do that too, because everyone can go faster and it's a little easier for everybody. But when I got there, I'm like, well, with the speed the cars are going with the glue track and the slicks, it didn't make it any really easier. But I actually really liked, like Alex is saying, and Lefty, I love the way the layout turned out. I think that was one of the better ones.
Yeah, I'd have to say it had a lot of very fast parts to it where you had to be very precise. And like you said, I'm just, it made for great passing if you had the balls to do it, I would say.
Yep.
So and I got to drive on it for 40 minutes, so I was happy.
It was everything was a good event there overall, and it was nice that we were just so stacked up with the worlds and then the vintage race happening very close together. We kind of got sandwiched there between the events. We're a little accustomed to that, the worlds being there late September, early October, and so we know that every other year that one gets a little tight. But then the associated race kind of got thrown in there, and they didn't purposely put it on top of ours. They kind of knew when our race was, but the Orleans didn't have another date available, and they were pretty hell-bent on doing the race as they should have. And it turned out to be a big success. And in the grand scheme of things, our race there at Hoosier was a big success too. And we got her done. It was over there in October, and we got a couple months as a break.
There is a little bit of a break between the INS rounds, but not in racing, because it was a very hot 10 scale year, and it's still going.
It's still going.
And here's the other thing. There's a world championship going on at this moment too, that we don't even know. Didn't even probably haven't recognized that's going on. Look at Alex. He's like, there is.
I saw some results on Facebook, either this morning or last night before I went to bed, and I didn't recognize any of the names, so I just sort of scrolled.
Well, there's no Infinity guys there. They didn't send anybody there, and the only top guys there are some of the Italian fast guys. Tony Gruber's there, so they're having the GT routes done in Chile. I don't know what the entry count is. It's a beautiful facility, but unfortunate that it's not a well-attended race. And then, of course, we have Cleveland going on at the moment right now. Fall Brawl, U.S. Open. These guys get Christmas off, and then literally they're back on the road again. It's not much off time for a 10 scale and 8 scale driver. If you drive one discipline, yes, but these guys are right back at it. All of us are right back at it. Well, pretty much. Alex doesn't stop. You don't stop, and I have a little bit of a break right now.
I'm running sprint car right now.
See, there you go.
Alex races everything. He's got a little experience in just about everything. He's raced minis, micros, on road.
Yeah, Tuesdays,
rock crawling. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've ran just about everything too. So.
Yeah. Did you see my monster truck I got done? Finally.
Pretty much. I'm an addict also.
Finally got my regulator. Finally got my regulator done. Body painted. Got it all ready to go.
I honestly have not seen it.
Oh, I'll send you some pictures.
Hey, you gotta send it to me.
The first step of admitting you have a problem is acknowledging that you have a problem. There you go. I guess we'll get you. I don't want to keep you here too long, Jason. 2025 season, was it what you expected? Was you happy with it? What would you like to see improve with it going into next year?
Yeah, I think it's the toughest part with all this is everybody, when we started this many, many years back, there wasn't as many events, and it was easier to fit these races in. And, that's part of the reason why we made the schedule shorter, is because we used to have 9 total races. We used to have 5, on the dirt. We used to have 4 on the carpet. So we had 9 races, and, none of the races at the end of the year, kind of like Florida Carpet Champs. There was Masters of Dirt, Scotty's race in Cleveland for off-road. Those didn't really exist back then. So we took a lot out of the calendar because we wanted to leave these last couple months for other events, and we didn't want to worry about having to, get to ours as well. So, there was times where we were going to Masters of Dirt. We had a crew going to Masters of Dirt. We had a crew going to our race in Minnesota, which, I missed that track. I think Alex was there. I believe he never went there. Okay, that was a
Will
great
went. Will went one year, but not me.
Great track there too. So, but we have a lot of things that we were trying to accomplish. If everybody was asking us, is they wanted to have really the same schedule, the same race director, the same computer, the same rules. They wanted to bring more consistency. It was kind of the things that a lot of our sponsors were asking for, Associated Hobby Wing, other sponsors we have, they were asking for more consistency, kind of hype the points more. That's kind of why we're doing this. We like to talk about the points. We want to talk about the races.
Yeah.
We had a lot of things we were trying to accomplish this year, and I think we did an all right job. I think we could do better for sure, because there's just a lot going on. It's hard to get that perfect focus and give it everything that you need to give it, that all these things that they deserve, and keep that excitement going throughout the year, because I think everybody gets excited for the beginning of the year and the first race or those type of things. Everyone is excited about, the first, and keeping that excitement going the whole year, and switching surfaces, I think is really the goal of, I think, as we move on, is we want to keep that excitement rolling from race to race, keep that points battle going between racers. We did have a good one this year, or multiple good ones this year. It came down to the last race. Lefty, you guys talked to many of the guys already throughout the year. So we're doing some things much different for 25 than we did in the past. And we got more things planned. Obviously, Alex is involved every day, just like I am. We're trying to work out more details, try to make it a little bit better for everybody. That includes, the tracks, that includes the crew elite coming in. And there's a lot of kind of moving parts here that we have to sort out and make sure that it works for everybody. And ultimately we keep that excitement going for all 5 races.
Yeah, I think those are all great points. Definitely. For my first year being involved in this, I was quite surprised at how many people travel to a lot of these events. Yeah. I was quite surprised. And then you slowly build up a repertoire, a rapport with them. Like, hey, you was at the last one. Good to see you. It's been a couple of weeks. It's been 2 months. Good to see you again. And that's good, because it's not in just one state. It's people are driving 7-8 hours to these events and getting hotels and stuff like that. So it's definitely good to see. And I met a lot of good people, new people.
Yeah.
I enjoyed.
I noticed that specifically. I mean, I noticed you connecting with the same people that you saw, coming from the very first race. You're a little bit fresh, and you made some friends right away, people joining you on commentary, and and that kind of carried through the whole season. So I think it was nice having you out there and gaining some of these other really fans and racers that have listened to you, and then can kind of be a part of the commentary with you, and just touching base too. Every race you can touch base, see how everybody's doing and progressing. We see these racers get better, and that's something that I've noticed over the years. Is that's the reason we did this series, was because we had younger drivers. We had people that we were trying to get better. We were trying to move into more of an elite level racer. It was building blocks. Spencer, he was very early in our races. Damon and Lee Setzer, and Ryan came to a bunch of races as sort of the veteran of being able to win these kind of events at the beginning. He did a bunch of them, and we've had all the superstars in the United States run the series. Tessman followed it. We've had obviously Brock has been his year the last couple of years. Dakota, he's had his success on the series, dominating at times. we've just had a lot of great racers come through and run our series and get better, and that's something that I notice.
Yeah, because the competition's pretty stiff in all the classes. In the independent classes, we had some good.
Yeah.
You can see it, right? You can see each class. Like we're looking at these guys are really good at that top part of that class, which is how it's supposed to work, right? And then they progress up. Obviously, Alex knows a lot more. Like when he talks about these guys because he's watched them grow up over the years, racing and stuff like that. But that's kind of the rapport that I'll grow into next year when I see these guys who are racing probably the independent class this year, and now they're moving up.
We're moving up,
and they're not. It's not as easy as it was in the independent class. It's a little harder in the expert class or stock class and whatnot. So it's lots of storylines. We went to 5 great locations. Well, I didn't go to the island one. But everywhere I went to, I had something to remember by. And I thoroughly enjoyed being a part of the INS this year. Thoroughly. And I'm looking forward to going back to trackside in February.
Yeah. I know Jamie's been in touch. He's already kind of putting the wheels in motion here. He wants to get his race live pretty soon for signups.
Yep.
For race 1. And I think that's what we're going to see. Is I think we're going to see people improving. We're going to see drivers changing classes because they're moving up, and that's the whole idea of this. Is we're trying to give places for racers to grow because you have the Indy classes and the 21.5s, and then you get into the expert 17.5s, and then ultimately modified. You would like to see more people come up and run mod. That's kind of a reason why we've kind of invented some of these classes over the years, because we're trying to give a direction, and we're trying to give a path that somebody can follow and get better. And a reason to stick with it and stay with it is you can be motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see these young racers coming up through it. And then we did what I liked about the last race was when we kind of it was we collaborated with Roar, with Clayton and everybody, and gave Skylar Mandela his trophy, doing little things like that. It means a lot, right? And he's another one. He's fast, right? Was fighting hard all year long in that independent class. Looking quite. You see, and that's another thing. We see a lot of young racers. Another one that stands out to me, Little Lane, right?
Yeah.
He was very fast. Went on to carpet championships. Took a little, it was a different ball game down there. Wasn't as easy as the INS, but they still stuck it out. He's 6 years old, and if he sticks it out, he's going to be good. So, lots of young talent racing there in I would say Midwest, because that's where it mostly was, and it was absolutely a pleasure to get to know them, and I look forward to next year once again.
That was one thing that was a little bit of a happy accident, I guess, was that we got all these races that were kind of scheduled in this general Midwest area that were within, I don't know what the furthest ones away from each other, but, let's just say it's, 7 or 8 hours. That's been the success of it. Is it's given us a way to get more racers to run the whole series because it's drivable distance. They've been there before. They don't have any apprehension about going to those tracks. They like them all. And so I think that we've had some great moments with racers traveling this year because of that. And, I think that's part of the genius behind what happened there was having these generally in the same area. So, when we go down the road, if we're going to move these things, I think I would like to continue moving them a little bit as a group. So another region can kind of enjoy this national kind of series. And then we move again and as sort of a group and keep that situation kind of going.
Yeah. I remember the early INS races, when we would hold the finals for those 3 years. Like, I wanted to do the whole thing, but like traveling to say Scotty's track, right, Tacoma, Washington, for me, like that was like going to be really, really difficult to do. And I started adding it all together. I'm like, oh boy, I don't think I can do that, this time around. But having him where we have him at for the last couple of years has made it actually pretty easy.
Yep. Yeah, it's been part of the success.
We actually have a good question, and I was kind of going to segue into this. But RC Victory Lane asks, who had a breakout performance in INS this year? In your summation,
I guess which class, right? Are we talking about in general?
You want me to take a shot at this one?
Sure, go ahead, Alex.
And I'll follow up.
Nate and Brock.
They were great. They were the best.
Well,
Brock was definitely the best. Nate had a little bit of fight, but Brock was on it.
I think
the Raymond twins are close.
Yeah.
You know,
and like the other guy, Luke Pravlicek, right?
He was good, moving up from independent.
He came from independent, and I would say one of the bigger jumps. He jumped from winning independent to being a factor in the other classes. I honestly think that he was one of the big guys that made a lot of strides on the series. And it's easy to say Brock, but it was when we got to Alex's race and Brock was racing there, that's when he really impressed me, because I felt like he was so sharp that weekend, and I was like, wow, this guy is at the top of his game right now. And so it really comes as no surprise that he's been backing this up, going to Hoosier, having a dominating weekend there, the Worlds in between, and then the Florida Carpet Champs. He's on the run right now. He's the guy that's he's in the zone. He's in his peak.
I would add Bada to that too. Even though he didn't win, I thought he was probably the fastest associated guy at many times. Just couldn't put the consistency in, but very fast. Let's see what he does next year.
Then the Lane Lazar's kids,
yes,
a great storyline too, but also like Adrian and Skylar, and like they were going back and forth for that independent win in their 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive. They were kind of the not walking away. It was a good battle. But they were up there. It was basically between those two.
One of the best moments of the entire series was when Kyle beat him at trackside, and like everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
So there was good racing in all the classes, right? And people getting to feel like champions and all. Like that was awesome. Like they had a great race, and Adrian done well. He had to fight off a lot of hard, fast young racers coming up against him as well. So good stuff.
And I think going back to the year before, or was it that year or the year before that, when a lot of Alex's racers, to me, they were like the breakout racers. Yeah, like you had a group of them there. Between Dalton and all these guys that were racers from your track. It was almost like as a group, they were the ones that were breaking out as a group. So that was cool. And they were still racing and they're doing their thing, but they're getting a little older too. So they got to start thinking about college and, all these things. But it was been nice to have your group of racers doing the series. And there's been some special moments out there.
There's another group coming. So they're in that 7 to 11-year-old range. They're on their way.
It's funny when you can see them coming that young.
Yep.
Do you feel like a Jedi Master when you see all your Padawans doing well, Alex?
Kind of. I mean, I'll answer any question ever asked me, but a lot of times I don't really get a lot of input. A lot of times,
but they came from the Flex
because I'm in the booth so often, right, running the races, that a lot of what's going on in the pits is of what's being passed on to that new group of kids coming in and stuff like that. I mean, I love encouraging it. I love it. And like I said, when I'm in the store, they ask me just about everything. And I try to keep them on the nice path of not getting carried away with worrying about sponsorships and all that stuff just yet, and focusing on making sure their car is good and not worry about stuff they don't necessarily need to buy yet, and trying to keep them on that, and then worry about that stuff later on. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got the same mindset that I do when it comes to that. And I mean, it's no doubt you've generated a lot of racers from your track and your class there. I forget the name of it. But what's your beginner entry level
Plex
class?
spec?
Plex spec.
Plex spec. Nothing spec about Plex spec, but it's called.
There you go. Yeah. So it's got a great name. So anyway, yeah, good stuff. I see we got some more questions here too, huh?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about rule changes. So there was a rule. There's been some rule changes, but the main one I want to talk about is the attendance of the last race.
Is that changing?
Because Alex was a beneficiary.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything about that changing at all on the thing.
It is changing, yeah. And I will tell you the reason why we did that from the beginning was what was happening is we were going to all these races, and if somebody had the series wrapped up or their class wrapped up, they would never come to the finals and that's when all the awards.
And you're trying to market it.
You're trying to market it.
Yeah.
Correct. So I think that what we were trying to do is we're trying to encourage everybody to come to the last race, because that's where the payoff is. The payoff in terms of the photos and the video and being a part of the series, that's where it gets presented. And if you're not there and you have this first place award and there's nobody there to receive it, then I think it's a little bit pointless. So I think that's why we did that.
It was after 2022, because if I remember right, didn't Dakota win one and he wasn't at Hobby Action for the finals?
I think the big one was actually Brock.
Was it Brock? Okay. I remember somebody not being there, and there's just an empty spot where it was first place.
Yeah. I think Brock was one of the first that was a disappointment, because he had won the carpet series and then he didn't need to go to the last race. And then we had to mail him the awards, and it's like, all right, you win bonus money for this, you win this, and there's no photos of it. You can't get a photo of him with that award and his car from the race, and all together, and with the track in the background. There's nothing to show that he has to take it at his house. And so that was the start. That was one of the starts of it. There was others too, not being there, but ultimately, I think the driver showed up because they needed to get that award, and they needed to get on the podium, get the correct photos and the video, and be a part of the series.
Any more rules being changed going into 2026?
So the idea is, we talked about was for the final to be the tiebreaker. So the first tiebreaker is going to be, are you at the finals or not? Mm-hmm. So if it's a tie, then if you're at the finals and the other person isn't, then the person that's there wins. That is the tiebreaker. Then it goes to most amount of firsts, most amount of seconds, most amount of thirds, which is traditionally what our system has been. So So we're going to do that. So you can lose a spot essentially to somebody that shows up if you're in a tie, but we want there to still be that motivation to be
like
there.
an attendance point to be in the finals, pretty much.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Any other rules that people should be notified about, or probably we should talk about before moving on to anything else?
Well, they're adding a 40+ mod class.
40+ four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
40+ four-wheel drive, which we did Lance kind of did like a little bit of a vote on it when we were there at Hoosier for the last race. And I mean, I was really surprised how many people wanted to have a 40+ four-wheel. I was like, now, I mean, I know that a lot of 40+ racers are out there, but I kind of expected everybody to say, oh man, not another 40+ class, but it was like overwhelmingly like positive to have 40+ four-wheel. And I was like, all right, well, I guess that tells you something.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to run that this year. Emerson and I want to race mod 2-wheel together.
Okay.
So I'd probably have to race 2-wheel mod and 40+ mod if I.
Well, so that was one of the things, that the class there, the tightening up the situation with the points and the, for the last race itself. We're trying to tighten up some things with the practice, Thursday, going into Friday, and then Saturday doing the mains on Sunday. I think the other thing that we talked about was doing double A mains for the races that were just
The
single
support
A
classes.
mains before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So essentially, Lance brought this up, and he's like, "Well, we're taking 3 15-minute breaks anyway to get A main number 1, 2, and 3 a little bit of space." So he's like, "Why don't we just have racing during those 15 minutes instead of just having a stopped break?" So his idea was, let's just give the racers another main. So there'll be double A mains at that time. And he figured out, I want to say it's 5 or 6 extra races. And, we're taking 45 minutes worth of breaks anyway. So that should fit in, not be that
Plus,
big of a deal.
Have we decided if those mains are going to be, they're not going to be 8 minutes then, right? They'll be shorter.
Yeah, I think they'll be a little shorter. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll work out fine.
Yeah. So a couple little tweaks like that. I'm trying to think, was there anything else, Alex, that I was not?
Not really. I don't know if we want to talk about the battery rule or not.
I mean, we can. I mean, that's fine. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, this was something that came up at your race. We had guys come up for technical inspection. They were over 8.40, and they got disqualified from their qualifier. They couldn't run in it. It was kind of a big issue at that particular event, and kind of the way it all went down, and we had to disqualify some people. And yeah, there were some very unhappy people that were really needing that race, needing that round to do better. And so, Lance was pretty adamant. He made some printouts later to put in the pits at our finals, indicating that was the drop, the drop dead voltage.
Yeah, I appreciated that. That was cool. I was like, oh, this is a good idea.
Yeah,
so it was every morning. It was in your pit every morning.
Yeah, so he's going to continue to do that, but what we're going to do is we're going to allow 2/10 over. Is that the correct?
Yeah, 0.02. So if you're at 8.42, you'll have a chance to burn it off.
Yeah,
but they're not going to hold up the race. So if you come up like 10 seconds before your race is up, and you're over.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not going to wait.
Ultimately, what you need to do as a racer in stock or one of these classes, because I think for mod nobody really cares, but it's really for stock. When you come up, you need to really have your battery out of the car, because you can check it at any time with the battery out of the car. So if you're that concerned about it, you should probably come up, check it, then put it in the car, then do your official tech, and then you're home free. We just had people that didn't do that or didn't know. So that was a rough set of circumstances.
There was at our race, there was quite a few people who that was their first big race. And there wasn't really a driver's meeting in ours, so it wasn't necessarily something where everybody just stopped and listened and understood what happened. So, that was, and they were coming to me, and I'm like, well, I mean, that's what he said the rule was. I heard it. I don't know why you didn't hear it, but
I remember that. It was a whole bunch of kerfuffle over that.
Yeah.
It's tough, and everybody can say until they're blue in the face, it's 8.0 or 8.40, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. But when it happens to them, they figure out reasons why it should be different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens every single time. And I think having a little bit of burn down effect, or just come up with your battery not in the car. And so there has to be a limit. That was Lance's thing, is he's like, there has to be a point, because if we say, oh, you can come up at any amount, then that's just not. He said that's not going to get it done, because everyone's just going to push the limit until basically there is no tech at that point. It's just like you come up and they just work with you until the final end, until you make it in. And it's like at that point, there really is no tech. So we put a little bit of leeway in there, and you can't go over that amount. And I think that's just to work with the racers that are always coming to these events, always coming to the series, locals that don't know how big races go. And we're trying to get everybody through. The idea is not to disqualify people. The idea is to get you out on the track racing, showing how it's supposed to be done. It isn't the world's. And So I think we have to have a little bit of room there, but at the same time, you got to have a little bit of an idea what you're doing and come up and do it as right as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just appreciate the little bit of leniency, because, like, I mean, to me, telling a 7-year-old kid to go back to his pits for being 0.1 over is rough to me. Like, I was like, whoa.
It is, yeah. And that's how the rules work. And I think that
even Roar lets you burn it off now.
Yeah, and they used to be the toughest. So yeah, I think having a little bit of leniency is good. But yeah, I think the printout every day that Lance is going to do, put on your pit. I'm kind of talking like I think what we're calling like almost like a daily newsletter. It's like your daily reminder of how you should do things, and then that's something you could actually do even better. I mean, I've been to races where they did a overnight, they did a report on the day that happened before. I don't remember what race I was at, but they handed you like a newsletter every morning that went over yesterday's, like what happened. It was amazing. Like, I don't remember where this was, but I couldn't believe that they took the time to do it. And it was really kind of neat. But anyway, just notes on what to be careful for, what to get up there and be legal for. And yeah, so that was a big thing. And like I said, we'll try to learn all the time, learn every year here, trying to do things a little bit better, but still we want it to be a professional. We still want it to be good racing. We still want to have these drivers be able to progress and be better, but a little bit loose is okay at times, because you're still trying to generate new people that want to do this.
Okay, so a little leniency is feasible. Awesome. Braden Miller, 1987. He wants to know opinions on chassis brand dominance at certain tracks. Would you say there was a certain chassis dominance at certain tracks throughout the week, throughout the year?
I think it's more of like, you're probably asking the wrong person here, because I think that a lot of these cars work pretty well. And I think that most people get carried away with one car being magical over another. I remember just not that long ago that we were all being told that when Dakota got a hold of the X-Ray, it was game over for everyone. There was not going to be anybody to win another race. The TLR was so behind. The X-Ray was, walking on water. And sure, Dakota has been phenomenal with the X-Ray, but you know what? He was pretty good with the TLR and won more races with the TLR than he did with the X-Ray. And so for something that was supposed to be so behind the times, and the X-Ray is supposed to be the latest, greatest new year model, it kind of blows some of those theories out of the water. But I think lots of times what you're looking at is driver dominance. And, so is what I see is you see driver dominance, and the car kind of starts to look good when a guy is dominating. It's like Lefty. I mean, I remember watching the broadcast of, was it Wicked Weekend, when he released the MP11, and I know Lefty was going nuts about the MP11 being walking on water on that track.
It was a good car.
And it was, they had a great race. Lutz was running well. Felong, I think, TQ.
Yeah.
The hype train was huge. But it kind of settles back out a little bit. Like things kind of have a way of kind of coming back to reality, and you kind of are what you are at times. And I mean, there's a reason why that Ryan Mayfield's ran an Associated car, a TLR car, a Mugen car, and a Techno car, and he's a winner with all of those vehicles, is because the guy he's a damn good driver. He can tune the car. He's got good products, equipment, tires, and he knows what he's doing. And so that magical thing, I think, exists, but nowhere near as much as I think some people think that it does.
I would love to see somebody with the pro level skill set run that Mugen MSB1 car that I run.
And that's another point, though, is we were at the Worlds in Australia, and you know who was probably the most impressive driver there, given it all, was Burak, right?
Burak, yeah.
He was awesome there. Did he win the B main and 2-wheel, or he was right up top? And then he got 4th and 4-wheel, right?
Yeah.
He was the only one there, I think, running a Mugen.
Yeah, prototype car.
He was very, very good. And if you look at his results recently, he's been on a little bit of a tear. He's one of the only ones I think that's beat Ungaro heads up this year in Nitro. Came to AMS.
I think these drivers go through spells of good times. So I would say that the beginning of the year, X-Ray team was on fire. They were winning races.
Because didn't Brennan like crush it at the Clash? Was it Brennan?
Yeah, I think he crossed it.
And the Nationals.
Rournats.
Sorry. Fend was looking good. He won SIC. So it was a lot of hype around the X-Ray team, of course, probably by some guy for podcast too. There's a lot of hype around the X-Ray team, and then it all kind of seemed to fizzle away after the e-buggy Worlds. And it's been pretty much Schumacher with a sprinkling of Associated in it since then. But it's been a lot of Associated. Don't get me wrong. They got 2 world champions in that time, world championships. But it definitely seems like Schumacher has come on hot at the second half of this season in both mod and stock class with Nate and Brock.
And what I will say also is I think when people watch Brock race the Schumacher cars, especially last year, I think that they felt like, hey, I'm going to run over and start running Schumacher. Brock makes this stuff look amazing. And now I think they are very good cars, but this is before they had the shaft 4-wheel. This is when they had a belt 4-wheel drive. They also had the 2-wheel still kind of making tweaks, getting it better. But what I noticed is the drivers that started running Schumacher for this year, there's been kind of a slow burn for them getting up to speed. And I think a lot of drivers thought it was going to be easy because they saw Brock and how good he was doing with it. But it's taken them a little bit of time to get up to speed. Like, watching Nate at the World, watching Tom trying to come around with his skills running the car. And it's taken most of the year for those guys to get up to speed. Whereas I think they thought it was going to happen a little faster. But I think what you're seeing is you're also seeing somebody, Brock, who he's the world champion, so he made that stuff look pretty damn good. And I think everyone doesn't necessarily look at that, right? They'll say, hey, I can pick up and run just as good. It's like, oh, I don't know, we'll see. And it takes some time, and then you start to realize that you come to the Worlds and you see Brock doing what he did, and you're like, there was a reason why this guy was running pretty damn good. He's obviously one of the best out there, if not the best guy going in 10 scale right now. But they've been making, changes. They've been getting this cars better. And like you said, they finished really strong this year with the Schumacher and maybe having a little bit of dominance with a couple guys. And I know they were really excited with that 2-wheel title. They never gotten one of those before. And I still think that they're missing a little bit of durability with the vehicles. I think they could be slightly more durable and a couple little tweaks, and I think they'll be right on par with what I think everyone really can appreciate and like, no matter what their skill level is. And they're really, really close.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
I had an LD2 that I got for carpet, and I actually struggled with that car back then. I was the only one running it there too at the Plex, but
the other, you ran the Mugen too, and then obviously we talked about that looking good at the Worlds, but then we talked about the Losi car, right? The new 22X.
There was a lot of Losi cars at these races.
And I mean, how about Dave Alberico at the Florida Carpet Champs?
I have one.
I mean, yeah, Alex has one, and he runs well with it. But that's Dave running his and J.R. Mitch at the Florida Carpet Champs. They looked phenomenal with the 22X, and
I got to tell you, I wanted that car to not be good when I built it and had it at our INS race, and I drove it, and I'm like, God damn it, this car's really good. So yeah. I ran both. And then I ended up running. I think I ended up running the low C in the 40 plus main at ours.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. We got Hunter King. He's on here, and he's another guy that's been kind of waving that flag. He was at the Worlds, kind of did everything. He's been running well with that vehicle, but it shows you we got many platforms right now that can get the job done. So we just talked about Schumacher finishing hot, and then X-Ray started hot. Associated just kind of been really where Associated is. You think they're misstepping a little bit, and then you get to the e-buggy worlds, and boom, they win another world title. They go to Australia. Marcus TQ's both damn near wins two-wheel, and then does win four-wheel. So you got the AE guys coming in strong there at the races where they usually kind of peak out, which is the Worlds.
34 and 35.
We were talking about it. Remember we were in Portugal? I remember even Max Mortz, he's shaking his head. He's like, how do these guys keep pulling this off? And I'm like, we talked about it. It's pretty funny, but with Marcus, obviously he was the key driver in Portugal and Australia, but his dad was an Associated guy. So a lot of this goes back to, who are your parents? What brands do they like? And what are you racing because of that? And, obviously Marcus was treated right over the years, and his dad was an Associated driver, and now he's a two-time world champion running those cars. So a lot of things have to come together too, Associated pulling off those victories, but it's still a lot of years in the making, because you had to support first Marcus's dad in all those years and make him a fan and believe in the product, and then he gets his son to believe in the product, and pretty soon you got the payoff, right? Which is 20 plus years later.
34 and 35. 34 and 35. Danny Paz, hello. How are you? Are you keeping warm at the fall brawl? Joe Zaire, ask Jason why he's so stingy with his T2s. I think he's trying to get one from you.
He did. He did.
He did.
I went and looked. I went and looked at my trucks, and I was like, man, I think I got two T2s, and I just didn't want to come off of one of them. I have a new one in the box too. I didn't tell him that, but I got a new one in the box, and I got two that are brand new, and I love that truck.
I have one.
Yeah,
one of my team orders had a T2 body in it. It's sitting up on my thing. I just got to get it painted.
I love that truck. So I didn't want to come off of that one.
All right. Well, we're going to take some more questions from the viewers and wrap this up. I had one more question going into this. We both heard when we had our live shows, we had Aiden Horn, and so we had two different stories. We had Aiden Horn who says, well, my contingency isn't that great going to the INS, and really I would like to see a payout, which we've discussed before. And then Brock Chaplin says, well, my contingency for the INS is actually pretty good. I think it's the hardest race to win. He just wins it and he's happy, and he thinks there should be a payout over all the classes. But in general, there seems to be a discussion of a payout. We've said it before to you. It's about where do we get that money from, right? Mm-hmm. Because RC doesn't have that. RC doesn't have the you can get hurt and never race again factor like full scale racing has. What it does has is you can lose $10,000 or something like that at the end of a race type of factor. So a financial factor over an actual physical factor. Well, yeah, the way I see it in this is, over 16 years, we've essentially, we've cultivated this series, and we've put a ton of money into trying to have it and trying to have,
enjoyable but competitive racing. And I feel like, in a sense, what Aiden's asking us for is he's run these races as long as anybody with his dad in factory tracks. He's probably been to more than anybody, but he's used these races to sharpen his skill set over the years in order to become a pro racer, and in order to become, when you're a pro racer, you get paid by Associated and other sponsors. So you kind of leverage these events when you do well to further your sponsorship program and to get a better deal with your sponsors. But so you've been able to use these events over the course of years to do this, but then you're asking, well, now you should also pay us on top of it. It's like, well, so we've always paid to do and put on these events over the course of the year, but then and then they're benefiting from it by using it for marketing opportunities for their sponsors, moving their level up as a racer over the years, and then leveraging that to be a pro, leveraging that to get paid to race, and then put contingency money with their sponsors on top of that. So we're providing a platform to improve your skills, to be a better racer, to move up the ladder of success here, and change the events to where they're contingency based through your sponsors. So you're making money and you're using these events to become a pro racer. But so then they're asking in the end that we should pay them too is a little bit crazy, I think, because they're already getting paid to be there. And we've already provided this platform for them to get there. So I don't think that they would be the ones that I would want to pay out in a situation like this, because they're the ones that already are getting paid for this. So they don't need to be paid anymore. They just need to do the job that they're already doing, is come to these races that they're paid to do, and do well like they do. Put on the show. Him, Brock, other racers, put on a show. That's what you're supposed to do. You're already being paid for that. And if you do well, your sponsors give you a contingency on top of it. I mean, you can't just have everybody paying you to show up and do your thing. There's got to be a reason for it. My suggestion, I think, when we talked before, was to have it a little more dispersed between the different classes, whereas, everybody gets a little bit of a piece of the action, but it's coming up with that money. You need a corporate sponsor. You need somebody that can come in and say, hey, here is 10 or 20 grand. Now disperse it for your champions and your winners. And they get some advertising, marketing sense out of that. So that's the way I see it. Is I would be more in favor of a major player or some kind of corporate sponsorship that could help pay out, but for all the classes in the point series, and not just for the pros who are already getting paid to be there.
And just as somebody that chases down door prizes and sponsorship money and stuff constantly for what we do at the Plex, like, there's not a lot of that going around.
Yeah. I just wanted to add, Aiden said he doesn't get the contingency. Brock said he should get it paid. Everybody, he kind of said it like it should pay out to all the classes.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brock actually inferred that the independent driver should.
Yeah, sounds like Aiden needs to negotiate better.
Well, it all comes down to what is it worth, right? What is it worth? You can't just keep paying for something that you're not getting anything out of, right? Like the whole idea of sponsorship, I think that we kind of get away from, is sponsorship is we supply something to somebody in return for something, which is a promotional or a marketing opportunity or influence, right? That's what a sponsorship is. Well, what it's turned into is people just saying that, well, hey, I want to be a pro and everybody should pay me because I want to be an RC pro racer. And it's like, well, no, that's not. It's what is anybody else getting out of this? What can you sell for that company to actually justify these expenses, right? if you're being paid thousands and thousands of dollars, you should be generating thousands and thousands of dollars of sales for the company that's sponsoring you. That's how it works. It's not just a donation, right? Like, you don't just donate a bunch of money to somebody because you like them and they race RC and they think that they should do it for a living. Like, you're supposed to be getting something out of it. And that's what the whole point of the sponsorship is. And, we have people talk to us all the time. They're like, hey, I want to pick up more classes next year in racing. I'd like to race, 2 more classes. So I'd like to get a better deal from you guys so that I can support racing more classes. And it's like, well, no, that's not what it's about. Like, you're supposed to be generating something for us that entices us to want to provide a better deal or have a better marketing plan for us. What are you generating and helping us with? And I think that is something that's being lost in this. And what I talked about when the difference between being at the vintage race and being at the INS finals or any of these big races, Cleveland or whatever Cleveland race you want to talk about. But that's the general vibe difference. It's the, what am I getting out of it? Everybody should give me everything. Everybody should sponsor me versus, hey, I've been down that road and now I just love RC and I want to come out and I want to play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think there are some great points that Aiden made there. Great ways to do it, but we need people to contribute money because it doesn't make any sense for people to just keep coming out of pocket for all this stuff because these things don't generate massive amounts of money to do that. And the track's got to be there. The track's got to be in existence. So I think,
and it's got to be viable for the track to want to hold these events too.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. And so, yeah, that's the idea. And I think, like I said, we need somebody to step in that wants to be a cash sponsor, and then you got to do something for them, right? They decide they want to give some money away, and then they say, hey, what are you providing marketing wise for us to generate something here? So, and then, you kind of divvy it up between the classes. That's the way that I would want to do it, not just give it all to one person. I think some of these tracks that have races and they give away these big payouts, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to the people that have to be there anyway, is kind of worthless. I think they're just kind of taking money out of their own pocket to do that. I think it's great. You can put on a show, but I don't think it's really necessary. I would say, hey, stay in business. We all want you to be here. Keep some money for yourself too. You don't have to give it to these guys over and over again for being there. They have to be there anyway.
Good stuff. I was going to ask this anyway, but RC10 Talk wants to know, how are things coming together for the new ONS or Outdoor National Series that is going to happen next year?
We had Lance and Danny stop by this week. We had a little meeting about it. We settled on 3 locations, so it's going to be 3 events, and we have let's see, we're talking about doing the same thing with the points where it's the same as the INS, where the finals, the first tiebreak is if you're attending the final or not. Right now, the 3 tracks that we've chose is Savannah, Georgia. We have Adrenaline's RC in Virginia. Their outdoor track is a second one, and then B&T Raceway, which is in Pensacola, is the third race.
So you want to talk later about which one of those I could go to?
Pick which one you want to go to.
It's not like you want to go to the Adrenaline one.
I could be a roommate. It'd be easy.
Hey, it's pick which one you want to go to. But man, we have massive amount of classes. Oh my gosh.
And he had a massive amount of tracks reach out too.
Dude,
I was with Lance. They were reaching out.
Lance got over 50 applications for this ONS. And now granted, we were all over the map talking about this. Should we just have one race? Well, it is a series. We'll have 3 races because we're trying to fit in everything. It's impossible to fit all this stuff in.
Is there going to be a vintage class?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Oh baby. Let's go.
So
got double X.
Like I said, we have so many classes, and that's the toughest part is trying to decide when to call it quits on the classes. But there's so many things that you can do outdoors that you can't do indoors. And one of them is gas truck. We have gas truck in there.
Yeah.
That's a class. And then I said to Lance, I said, well, how about the gas buggy? Can they run the gas buggies with the gas trucks? And he's like, yeah, why not? Let's run them. Let's run gas buggy. So we have 3 vintage classes, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, stadium truck. We got gas truck. And then all the traditional like INS classes. So what we did is we just went through the associated race, and we said, hey, 89 to 93 was the most popular by a mile. Let's make it 89 to 93. Then we did, was it 90? I'm trying to think of the truck year model. Was it 91 to 96 or something like that?
Yeah.
So stadium truck, I think, is 91 to 96. And then I think 4-wheel drive is the same as the 2-wheel. Is it 89 to 93? 2 of them are the same years. And then the other one, stadium truck's a little different because it wasn't out necessarily in 89. So those were the 3 most popular classes at the associated race. So that's what we went with. Sure, we'd love to add more, but I think we already have like 14 classes.
I just checked. The low C double X buggy came out in 93, so I'm good.
It's all about gas truck
or gas buggy.
Gas, yeah. What it doesn't matter. Whatever. If I get to one, I'm gonna race gas truck.
So one thing that we have on the list that we're still trying to decide. I just made up this name because I've seen it. Is the comic class, which we were calling like anything that's like a lunchbox, a midnight pumpkin, a monster beetle, a Blackfoot. It's kind of like the Tamiya ode to Tamiya class, where we talked about doing this just as a fun thing where maybe they're 4 minutes instead of 5 or whatever. But you got lunch boxes and midnight pumpkins wheeling out there. Get some good. I mean, every time I see good video and photos of those classes, they always do well on social media. So maybe we can call it the social media class. I don't know. But Danny, he was all about it.
I'll beat him.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that.
The decision you have to make now, Lefty, is will you run the lunchbox or the midnight pumpkin? Which it's the same chassis. You just guys got to pick bodies. Danny says he has a lunchbox.
It doesn't matter.
Do I have to run the camera? If Danny's racing, do I get to run the camera?
You're going to have some skills because I'm going to be coming flying crossing. Midnight Pump. I actually do like the lunchbox too, but I would you can buy one of them cheap and then I'll just beat him.
They're out there.
Beat him.
I got all 3.
No, he's all excited. Got
a lunchbox, midnight pumpkin, Blackfoot, monster beetle.
Monster beetle might be nice, but that's key. Is that Tamiya or Kyosho?
That's Tamiya.
4-wheel drive stadium class, or is that mini truggy?
Is that mini truggy? You know what? I have no idea what to do with that truck.
Mini truggy.
I mean, Associated just they threw that truck out there, and I'm like, what is this thing? But it's not on the list. It wasn't part of the 14 classes that we have listed so far.
Dude, the Plex. I mean, I know that our mini truggy class is mostly technos, not the new Associated one. But the Plex, we constantly like this techno series we're gonna have this weekend. We're gonna have 2 full heats, 20 cars.
Yeah, it always does well at your track.
Yeah, our guys love it.
Lefty, we should race lunchboxes gladly if you don't get too scared at my early onset pace like you did the last time we did 10 scale outdoor racing.
What do you say? It's never over.
Never over. Even when I beat him.
Dude, it'd be cool so the Savannah one's at Score?
No.
Yes.
Oh, is that what it's called? Score?
Dude. Oh, that video of you guys, what year was the Nats there? Was that 94? 95?
There was many there. There was a 91 buggy nationals, a 92 truck nationals, and then the 95 nationals for everything.
Yeah, that was a cool track.
Out of all those tracks you mentioned, I want to go to Phil Hart.
Yep.
Yeah, that one, it makes it definitely on my list too. I've had such great experiences there over the years, and I think obviously when you're going outdoors, the concern is always weather. And we're just going to have to, monitor that and do what we can. We're trying to set up the schedule so that Sunday is a rain day, so that it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday is really the actual race, and Sunday is there in case we need it because we have a rain problem.
I'm trying to think. Remember when was it the 2011 Clash? I went down there and my pits ended up having like 3 foot of water in it. And I was on my chair. I couldn't move for 2 hours.
Yep. Yeah. That was it. And we raced the main somehow.
We did. Oh.
The schedule has not been released, correct?
It has not.
Okay.
And this is all new info.
Paul,
this is hot off the press, man. We're breaking news tonight.
This is a scoop right now.
I say this is fake news right here. Daniel Eduardo Praz Herrera gonna whoop that ass again, Lefty. Never. They have a big race coming up at Triple Nickel next weekend, the Exalt race. So first time under.
Are you going to be there?
No, I am. I'm not coming back to the UST until January. Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to finish it up. What was the most your favorite moment of the 2025 INS series? I have mine.
Well, I mean, it's on the track, off the track.
It doesn't matter. Whatever moment.
I think Aiden's interview was the top moment because it was so funny. On the track, I thought Brock at Alex's track at the Plex there was outstanding. I thought that track is a little bumpy. It's got some tricky jumps, and man, he was mastering that thing. I was so impressed with his driving there. I thought that was the race that made the difference in the whole series. Aiden and got off to a hot start in the series, and I thought that was kind of the change happened there, and Brock kind of took over from there and ended up winning it. But I thought that was the race of the series in terms of his skill coming out there and looking like he was in his prime.
He looks primed and ready to win everything. How about you, Alex?
Mine's all selfish stuff. So Emerson dominating truck at trackside, and my son making the 2-wheel buggy bump up at Hoosier. Those are my moments for me.
How about adding racing at your track and not having to RD?
No, I mean that was cool too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I thought that was cool. My son pulled that off.
Yeah, good. Obviously, Aiden was my favorite because it kind of caught me completely off surprise. Unfortunately, Tater didn't really go with it. It would have been nice if he would have went with it a little bit more.
We were trying to generate a.
He wouldn't fall. He wouldn't budge.
We had a storyline. We were putting a storyline together. We
had our wrestling hats on.
We did.
We had our wrestling hats on, and honestly, I would have to say the passes I saw Nate make. The 3 that stand out to me was the one he made on the short straightaway at Omaha, which was just like, what? How did he do that? Like, how did he just slip in there, not touch that guy, and steal his lunch money at the same time? Like, just pickpocket that from him. And then the 2 passes that he made here at INS. I enjoy watching him race because he seems to be able to pull off these miraculous passes. And yeah, it was good. And then watching Brock, I too kind of at Hobbyplex was like, oh, this he's like apex predator right now. He is going to kick ass and take names, and he has pretty much done that ever since then. So it's been pretty good. What's up, EKJ 24,000? I have to.
There's just so many highlights for me this year doing the whole series. I think I counted up. I went to 21 events this year overall. That was including 2 trips to Portugal, 2 to Australia, and there's just been so many great moments and highlights. I mean, I wish I would make the time or make myself make, actually a list of the highlights and put together with photos and stuff. But it's just so difficult to prioritize that over everything else. But it's been a great year on this series. It's been a great year on racing overall. And we just can't wait to do it again. Right? I mean, Lefty, when that Worlds is coming up at Thornhill, you got to already be like,
it's nothing like a world championship, especially when it's in the USA.
Whew.
Yeah,
gonna be wild.
How
about the beginning? How about the beginning of the year? The Clash of Champions, the Silver State.
We were just going over that.
FYC. We got the TNR race.
We got races on top of each other.
There might be 4 or 5.
Pretty much the whole month of January is a race.
And they're like 500 plus entry races.
Yeah.
Well, one of them's going to suffer because I think the TNR and SIC race are the same weekend. So I'm in an ideal world next year, how it will be, apparently, because Silver State is going to be that same date every year, is that Joey moves DNC to May for Silver State date. That frees up that March and April. And then I would put like SIC mid-February.
February is so hard to schedule because like I never put anything on Valentine's Day. Learned that a long time ago. And so you only have 3 weekends to play with.
Well, it's in the 8 scale world, there's nothing. It gives enough. I think putting it mid-February gives enough time for the pros to recuperate and go, because they're going to be torn between. Camden Line goes to me on my live. He goes, which races should I go to? Should I go to the TNR race or the SIC race? I said, whichever race pays you the most. Because whichever race is going to pay you the most, you go to it. All right. So any questions before we leave? We're going to wrap this up here. I know these guys, it's 10:51. I'm an hour ahead of you guys. So it's 9:51 for you guys.
I still got to go water the track for this weekend.
He's got work to do. Jason, you're home this weekend?
I still got to have dinner.
All right. Well, you got to have some dinner.
It's a late dinner.
And I don't think we have any more questions. I wanted to say once again, congratulations to everybody that participated in the INS. It was great getting to know you all. I look forward to it next year as well, which is coming up soon. It's coming up so soon.
Yeah.
So soon. A month from now, we'll be like, yeah, it's time to roll on out to Wisconsin. Have some curds.
The one that just kills me is being at Hoosier as the year changes from 25 to 26.
That's who's hardcore RC enough to be there New Year's at Hoosier?
For sure. I was there last year.
You guys are hardcore RC.
Yeah, I think so. That's a tough one.
And it's cold too, very cold.
Not as cold as Omaha.
Yeah, Omaha's going through a freeze.
That's still the coldest I've ever been, Alex, when we had our first race.
Oh, I'm so glad we don't do that anymore in the wintertime.
I remember you said you were so scared.
I was.
Because of the temperature and the snowbanks we had.
Yeah.
Snowbanks? I'd be scared too. There's no places to have snowbanks. You had snowbanks in the parking lot?
So the Plex parking lot also goes downhill. So like right now, there's certain parts of our park. We got giant snow this Saturday. This last Saturday. And our parking lot's still not all the way free of ice yet. So you kind of slide down a little bit, then you catch some concrete and you're able to turn. And
because it's all on an angle, so you'd be sliding forever.
Yeah.
Not safe. I would definitely not do well there. What's up, Lance? How you doing? How you feeling? His tuning in. Practice must be getting done at Fall Brawl.
I hope he's not mad at me.
Lance, if he's mad at you, you'll know. He'll let you know.
I don't think there's that many people mad at Alex, to be honest.
That's good.
Not too many. Maybe some people this weekend, though.
I would say of our panel here, there's more people mad at me and Lefty than Alex.
Definitely mad at me and Max right now. They're mad at Max from this week's podcast. He's triggered plenty middle-aged American men this weekend.
You were triggering?
He was. He was doing his job. But it's all good. I look forward to it. Trackside cards. Was it cheese cards, Malort, and custard? So I found out that custard is actually made with more egg yolks than ice cream. So
yeah, there's a custard place right down the not Culver's, but there's an actual like a even more authentic one right down the street from Trackside. We went there last year.
Smash burgers.
Yeah.
And I like
Dave's hot chicken.
I like the cold.
We don't have a Dave's hot chicken here in Omaha, so whenever we get up there, there's one right on the corner.
And we found a nice little Mexican place up there, too. We have to always find a nice little place up there. I like it. I'm looking forward to it. I will be back in January with a kickoff show with Jamie Tennies. He's going to come on. Hopefully, we could get him on. We're going to talk about what's going on at Trackside, what to expect, the little Coliseum that is RC. It's a small track, but lots of action. And do you think anybody's mad at JQ? I think lots of people. I think JQ's mad at JQ sometimes on a good day. So, but definitely Flint Nash. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna discover the doors that I didn't discover at Trackside the first time. So it's like I still have some doors to go, be surprised, and see what's behind them at Trackside. I look forward to it.
I've never been in the basement there. I've never went down there.
What, like the secret basement?
No, the one where I guess where you autograph the wall or whatever. I've still never been down there.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah, because you have to have a shot of Malort.
Oh, I didn't know about that either.
What?
I went downstairs, but I didn't see a wall of.
Oh, you guys, because you ain't had the shot. You ain't been indoctrined.
Yeah.
You guys, what? You gotta drink Malort, which is great.
I don't know what that is.
Dude, it's the worst tasting stuff you ever had in your life.
Oh.
And it's like a whole cult around it. They have a festival from this drink and everything. Danny did it. So if Danny can do it, you guys can do it. It's not, I would drink it again, but it's not something you just say, hey, can I have a shot of Malort, please? It's definitely not that type of drink. But it's good. It's good. All right. Larry's Pit is down there. Kyle Swanson. What's up, Kyle? Kyle wants mod truck. But I don't know if we can have mod truck. I don't know if we have enough.
13.5. Fast
You
enough.
did it, Lance McDonald. It's not bad. It's not that bad. It's bitter at first, but it's okay. All right. Well, any more questions? And we're going to go. We're at 2 hours. These guys got to go. Alex has got to go water track. Jason's got to get some food. And
I just Gemini'd what Malort was.
Oh.
Had to read it.
They make ice cream out of that stuff, too.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as Google anymore? You just ask AI? Is that what?
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, I downloaded Grok last night because I was trying to make a picture of my wife with a Back to the Future 2 reference. And holy crap, like the things you can do with that, it's insane. Like I'm not going to trust anything I see on internet anymore.
You shouldn't.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have a problem with AI unless they should be able to, it should be a rule. It has to say created by AI.
Sure.
That's the number one thing I think it should be, if it's written by AI, it should say written by AI. If it's a picture, that's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, especially pictures and movies.
Just show us that where it is from, that it's generated, how. So the confusion can be put to rest, because otherwise it's just going to be, well, it already is a total mess.
Yeah,
but
it's bad.
It really needs to be said that one, differentiate between AI and human created content.
It's kind of like what wrestling did. We didn't know if it was fake all those years. Then they just said, yeah, we're fake and we're sports entertainment.
Yeah. There
we go. Cool. Well, I think that's going to be it, guys, for tonight. Thank you for your time. I do greatly appreciate it. We'll have, like I said, a short time off, and then we'll be back at it again. Good luck this weekend at the Techno Series, Alex.
Thank you. Hey, I TQ'd Expert Debuggy round 1.
There you go.
Old guy. Magic old guy powers.
Now, what type of 8-scale program do you run?
I'm Mugen MBX.
Okay, so you're Mugen through and through. Well, you do have a 4-wheel drive coming, and
Yeah, but I
you would need-
also have a Losi 2-wheel drive and an associated 2-wheel drive and an associated truck and I'm not a one brand specific type person, but I do like my Mugen MBX8.
I'm the only one I think's Lefty looks like. I need to go to the barber shop next week and get my beard trimmed.
You know
It's a
what?
little gray.
It could be a nice little side gig, little side hustle.
I would make lots of money Christmas time. I would make lots of money. I definitely have the shape for Santa Claus. That is for sure.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
Hey, man, I worked hard to
Yeah.
get in this shape. Yeah. Worked hard. Ate a lot of food. Drank a lot of food. Drank a lot of alcohol, too. All right. Good night, everyone. Sorry I was just able to get on. Kyle Spencer. I'll tell you one of my time. I remember when I interviewed Kyle, and he was so nervous. And he could just about talk. And we became friends instantly after that.
Yep.
So that's the good things. Doing RC stuff with RC people. I got to go to the Midwest. And I'll never forget, Jason's like, you're going to be really shocked by this Midwest 10 scale scene. You're really going to like it. And I did. I really did. So thank you.
Pretty hardcore.
Again. It is. It is. We'll see you guys in Wisconsin. And I'll be back live sometime in January. Thank you for all the support. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jason. Thank you to all the sponsors. A-Main Hobbies, Hobby Wing, obviously JConcepts, Schumacher, Exalt, Team Associated, Reedy. A big shout out to the Elite RC Productions. You're not going to see that, heard that, Mr. Paul go to. And good luck to everybody at Fall Brawl this weekend and that Cleveland race. Let's have a good end of the year and get back on the horse in January, right on the bat. Clash and Silver State, right off the bat. So to all you RC fanatics out there, you ain't going to have to wait long for your RC fix. It's going to be right there.
Nope.
So I guess from Jason and Alex, we will see you guys later. You guys have a good one. Thank you for everything.